studying a music and sound technology course.
My name's Georgia, I'm a first year film production student.
My name is Scott, I'm the first year animator. Well, I've done my first year and it's been sort of all over the place due to different mental health problems.
And there's days where I just won't have any real kind of desire to move, to get out of bed or to do anything.
I found it extremely overwhelming when I first came. I had other stresses with the relationship as well, which just made everything more heightened, and my anxiety got really bad at one point.
When I began to get more and more depressed and more sort of self-aware of where I was going and where my headspace ended up, usually in my sort of day-to-day life, it brought a huge dampener to my work. It meant that I physically didn't want to get up in the mornings. A lot of times I would wake up, have no emotion or want to be excited to do my work for my animation, because over the year it's just sort of slowly drained on me and I've been sort of drifting from the work.
I would say I'm quite knowledgeable with mental health because my dad originally had depression, so I kind of can see the signs before someone's diagnosed usually. And my mum's gone through depression and anxiety, my sister's gone through depression and anxiety, I go through anxiety. He just kind of changed. You don't realise it at first, but then he'd come home, he'd work in London, so he'd drive to London very early and then drive back very late. And he'd just kind of come in and he'd sit in front of the TV and not say anything or really want to do anything. And he's just so different now since he got help and got medication, and the talking therapy on the phone is really helpful as well, because it's like a one-to-one thing. You don't feel like there's so much pressure as well.
Depression can change from day to day. With me, I feel sort of hollow, a little bit shaky, almost as if you're having sort of a coffee crash. You've got nothing left inside you to make you run, and you're just slowly drifting on no energy at all. Unfortunately, when I get depressed, I start to shut people out of my life. I sort of moved away from my friends quite a lot, didn't contact the outside world, and I started ruminating, and with that I sort of became more lonely.
I can be quite aggressive towards people, not in a physical way, but in a kind of verbal way. I get angry very easily, lose my temper very easily. I've always had a short temper, but I've noticed that when I'm in a certain mood, it kind of exaggerates it, exacerbates it rather, and I'll kind of lash out on people that are kind of close to me, people I care about. Anxiety side about panic attacks, that kind of thing. Recently, the past few months, I developed this condition. You rip out your hair. So last night I had to shave off most of my hair, which is, I know that it's linked to stress, to anxiety, that kind of thing. I had to just shave off most of my hair, which kind of sucked. But at least I can't pull a tip now, so that's good.
It feels like another person there, as if you had a family member that kind of goes, if you sent someone a message and it says they were online 10 minutes ago but you sent it 5 minutes ago, you're like, why have they not read that? And it spirals instantly.
Most people say anxiety is this feeling where your rib cage feels like it's being crushed slowly, and it's a very sort of panicked feeling. I get the panicked feeling a lot. I get sort of very scatterbrained, I can't focus very well. But I get an odd feeling which it almost feels like my ribcage is expanding out, as if I'm breathing in and not being able to breathe back out, and just sort of expanding.
My family have taught me to talk about it. It doesn't matter what's happened, how long we need to talk for, just talk until you feel better.
Late January, right the way up through to sort of end of April, very much proved to me that I'm not strong enough to stand on my own with some of the emotions I really have no grasp or concept of, and that it really proved to me that I can ask for help and I don't need to keep this mental image of I have to get through it on my own because it's my fault. I do drawings, I illustrate little characters and happy little drawings now and then, and I noticed that what I started to draw was darker. It was sometimes just more half-assed and it didn't look like what I was creating before. I started to sort of have days where I would just sit in front of a blank piece of paper for 6 hours and have nothing come to me at all. I started to think about it more. I started to think about why I wasn't feeling like this, and I started ruminating quite a bit on it because I sort of almost meditating on why I felt bad.
When I really started getting into music was when I started to get kind of depressed, and I started to notice that, like, oh, that makes me feel a little bit better.
If you've been feeling depressed, or if maybe even anxiety could be a huge trigger warning to you could be depressed. That's something which anxiety hit me hard at the start of the year, and I was like, okay, I've had anxiety before. That led to some form of depression back when I was younger. I should think about getting help. So if you've had it in the past, it's a serious thought, and go to get help. Don't be afraid to talk to anyone, because you might be afraid to talk to your friends because you might be afraid that you'll scare them. Fair enough. It's a very touch and go subject. You can talk to one friend and they'll completely understand because they might have been through the same battle as you. You could talk to another friend and they might just not be able to empathize with you because of maybe their own past experiences, or maybe just their lack of experience.
I take medication, and that helps some days. Most days it's usually quite helpful to kind of get me up and get me going.
But going and getting help from a professional or some form of counsellor who is trained for this very specific reason, you shouldn't fear it. You shouldn't be afraid.
Today has been very interesting, just because I am filming my documentary. It's very interesting to hear other people's stories that they've experienced depression, anxiety, stress. Nobody really understands what depression is, how does it work. Nobody really believes when people are sad. I'm having a little bit of a difficulty here because I know how it is to suffer with anxiety and depression, especially during university time. And outside of it, it is something that is lingering, and I kind of thought to myself, I'm currently listening to all these people talk, and they're all just explaining their story. They're talking to me about what they've gone through, what they've done to help themselves. I want to bring awareness to this, to the fact that kids are feeling completely shut off. I want this documentary to be more than just there's well-being in that building, or you do this, you're going to be fine. I want this to be a wake-up call to people that it's okay to be not okay, and that it's okay to talk to someone. Like, I want to cry, but I don't want to cry, because when I start crying, that's it.
Guys, specifically males, you are less likely to go and get help because of the way that we are portrayed. It sounds like the sort of stereotypical thing. Statistics have proven it. If you're feeling depressed, don't go bottling it up, because you're more likely to do it. And I bottled all mine up for a good few years in the past, and it didn't end well. It ended in a lot of tears and a lot of stress. and it took a long time to heal. Whereas with this, now that I've actually opened up, it's become much easier. It's actually lifted a lot of weight off my shoulders and given me more options to sift through.